All right, so Dana White just announced a bunch of massive fights, and I'm going to go through them and give you my thoughts on the fights. First of all, Tom Aspinall, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
John Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Not the interim anymore because, of course, John Jones retired, walked away from the sport, and then 2 weeks later came back and said he wants to fight in the UFC at the White House against the champion, but wouldn't mention Tom Aspinall's name, which is absolutely crazy because guess what? Tom Aspinall will be the champion because most of the people in the top 10 Tom Aspinall has beaten, apart from one guy, that is Ciryl Gane, and that is who he will be fighting at UFC 321. All goes down, Abu Dhabi Heavyweight Championship.
Tom Aspinall will face Ciryl Gane. Aspinall has 15 wins, and all of them are by finish. Gane is the #1 ranked heavyweight.
Now, when you look at the UFC heavyweight rankings, as I say, Tom has beat most of them, and he's beat them in style, and he's knocked them all out. Curtis Blade, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, whoever they are, he's beaten them all up. But Ciryl Gane is a little bit different. Now, of course, John Jones beat Ciryl Gane in quick fashion, took him down in the first round, submitted him with a front choke. But Ciryl Gane is the same as Tom Aspinall in terms of athletic ability. When I say that Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight George St. Pierre, that kind of goes to Ciryl Gane as well. The man's gigantic. He's very quick. He's agile. He's light on his feet. He could run any sport on the planet. And he's almost like George St. Pierre and Tom Aspinall in the fact that he's got all those athletic attributes and qualities, but he doesn't have the grappling. That's what cost him against John Jones. And that's probably what's going to cost him against Tom Aspinall. You never know. He could clip him. This is a dangerous fight. This is heavyweight MMA. But Tom Aspinall can grapple. We've seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down. Show him what you can do. Show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Ciryl Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet. But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get the job done. The fact that he isn't fighting John Jones is insane, but we've talked about that till the cows come home, so I'm not going to bore you on that subject anymore. But just you wait. John Jones is probably going to pop up on Twitter. If he doesn't beat Ciryl Gane as fast as what John did, guarantee we're going to get some tweets.
Hey, are you still there?
But Dana wasn't done there. Oh no. He talked about the one and only Alex Pereira, Potan, the former middleweight and light heavyweight champion of the world that just lost his belt last time out to Magomed Ankalaev. Of course, they were going to do a rematch. And this one goes down at UFC 320 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Magomed Ankalaev defends his belt against Alex Pereira. Ankalaev hasn't lost in 7 years. He has the second longest win streak in the UFC light heavyweight division behind who? John Jones, the GOAT. Let the hate begin.
And this fight card is shaping up to be ridiculous. Now, there's 2 big title fights on there and 3 fights were announced. We'll get to those in a minute. A lot of pressure on Alex Pereira coming into this one. And you know, after he lost the fight to Magomed Ankalaev last time out, there wasn't much volume. There wasn't much wrestling either. If anything, Magomed Ankalaev beat him on the feet. It was just a hesitant, tentative performance from Pereira, and I understand that. I've been in there with wrestlers myself, and you think that when you throw, they're going to shoot, and then the guy doesn't shoot, he starts throwing punches, he beats you at your own game, and he kind of makes a dick out of you, right? I've been there. I know what it feels like, and yes, Magomed, even though he's from Dagestan, isn't a Habib-level wrestler or Islam Makhachev or something like that, but he does have wrestling in his back pocket. He beat him at his own game. But Pereira is under a lot of pressure here. He's got to come out. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to go forward. If he's going to get that belt back and get some pride back, he's got to win this fight. Because if he doesn't, this might be the last time we see him fight in the UFC. We saw him have a bit of a meltdown on Twitter recently when something didn't go his way. I forget the exact tweet, what it was, but you know what I'm talking about if you follow the sport. And now he's talking about potentially fighting for karate combat. He's talking about potentially boxing. He's made an absolute fortune. He's left his mark on the sport. But if he beats Magomed Ankalaev, then of course, you know, forget about all those conversations. He's going to be staying in the UFC. And he'll probably fancy his chances against Tom Aspinall at some point down the line. Okay, I know I'd like to see it. Co-main event for UFC 320 was announced as well. This one's a banger. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Cory Sandhagen. Now, when you look at Merab Dvalishvili, already one of the greatest bantamweights that the sport's ever seen, if not the greatest, okay? What he is doing, the way that he's beating people, the way that he beat Sean O'Malley the second time out, submitted him, finished him, the way that he beat Nurmagomedov. When you look at his record, he beat a lot of the other contenders on his way to becoming the champion, people like Petr Yan as well, of course. One of the only people that he hasn't fought is Cory Sandhagen. And Sandhagen does have some unique problems for Merab, okay? He's taller, he's longer, he might be a little bit quicker. He's definitely a more skilled kickboxer. He's a very calculated and high IQ fighter. He can fight on the feet. He's got beautiful footwork. He always comes with a tremendous game plan. The grappling and the submission ability is very, very high level. And you know Cory Sandhagen has wanted this for a very long time. When I interviewed him after he beat Davison Figueiredo, you could see there was a little bit of annoyance, a bit of a chip on the shoulder, and that's what you need. That's why you're going to go out there and dispatch these people in the way that he has been doing.
I've dreamed of being a world champion for more than half of my life now. UFC, please give me an opportunity to show how great I am to the whole world.
You need to feel a little bit overlooked. You need that chip on your shoulder as a fighter because it spurs you on in training. It makes you that extra little bit nastier when you land your shots, when you squeeze the guillotines or whatever it is, right? Cory Sandhagen's got that now. I'm telling you, this man is extremely technical. He's a really smart guy. He's turned into a bit of a social media influencer sensation recently as well.
When you finally admit that you don't even actually deserve that title shot.
No, dude, go f yourself. I do deserve it.
Say it!
How about I f you up, bitch?
Oh, you hit me. Mom says that you're not allowed to hit me ever in the face.
But when it all comes down to it, this just might be the toughest test of Merab Dvalishvili's career. If Merab gets through Cory Sandhagen, there's nobody anytime soon that beats Merab. Simple as that. And he will be the bantamweight GOAT. But of course, Dana wasn't done there. Sticking with UFC 320, Jiri Prahaska, the former champion, the Czechoslovakian samurai, one of my favorite fighters to watch because this guy doesn't give a shit.
I don't need to say anything else. For those of you that know, you know.
He has the hands low. He's got a unique style. He's a true martial artist. He is a throwback. He really is. But the man is a goddamn warrior going up against Khalil Rountree Jr. We just saw Khalil put a beat down on Jamal Hill in Baku, Azerbaijan. Shout out to Baku, by the way. What a place that was. But what a performance we had from Khalil Rountree Jr. We've seen it before when he beat Anthony Lionheart Smith, and we've seen it all the way through his career. He does have beautiful Muay Thai, excellent power. There was a little something missing in that fight. I would have liked to have seen him against Jamal go for the kill, be a little bit more aggressive. But you can't criticize the performance in terms of technical ability, the way that he executed it and the way that he stuck to the game plan, and he clearly won every single round. He's going up against Jiri Prochazka. So in this performance here, we're not going to see Khalil Rountree being able to take his time and pick his shots because Jiri goes forward. And this will be a sensational fight. This is going to be one of those fights where Khalil's going to have to bite down on his mouthpiece. He's going to have to stand his ground, go toe to toe, okay? Or Strickland would say dick for dick. Nipple to nipple. By the way, Sean Strickland, you might have saw when he punched that guy at a Tough Enough event, a regional MMA fight in Las Vegas. He stormed the cage, punched that guy. He's been suspended. We don't know for how long, but he has been suspended. And they just announced, I think I saw somewhere that he's going to be fighting Israel Adesanya again. So I hope that doesn't affect that. Maybe it'll just be 3 months. It'll go from when the incident happened. So who knows, a month or two, he'll be back at it. But still, there's the fights. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Who do you think wins that one? I'm leaning towards Tom, but you can't forget about Ciryl. The man is a credible threat. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. Who wins that fight? I'm going to say I'm leaning towards Magomed. Again, we saw it once. We might see it twice, but we're going to see a different version of Pereira this time. He has to bring a different version. Simple as that. Merab versus Cory Sandhagen. Geez, that is a close fight to pick. And so is Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. Who wins these fights, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and ring the bell. Soon as I stop recording on this video, I'm going to grab my bags. I'm going to get to the airport and I'm flying off to Abu Dhabi via Istanbul. It's a bitch of a journey, but I'm a blessed man. I'm a very lucky man for all these opportunities. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I'm in Abu Dhabi. Take care.